Hey, what's going on, guys? Clifton Denny with On Your Own Outdoors. Hey guys, so today we're here to knock out another review of something that I think everybody has seen all over the internet, and that is the TideWe Silent Hunting Blind. This is one of the blinds. You can see 270 degrees in front of you inside of the blind there. We'll go over that once we get inside, but this blind stands about 66 inches tall at the very, very top there, and then it is a 58 by 58 inch ground space once you get inside. Obviously, it's a little bit wider on the outsides, which you don't think makes a big deal, but whenever you're in there trying to pull your bow back, that little bit of extra space and the way that it bows out is beneficial. So some things about this blind: we're going to talk about the outside, we're going to talk about the inside, we're going to talk about the pluses and the minuses as I see it, like we always do. We'll end on the pluses, that way we end with a smile on our face like always. So number one, guys, right there's your promo code. If you see anything on the TideWe website, that'll save you a little bit of money, and that's site-wide. I did hunt out of one of these similar to this model last year with me and my son, and with my brother and myself. Neither one of us are small dudes. We had plenty of room, so 2 people hunting out of this ground blind is not going to be an issue. As far as weight goes, the thing is super lightweight in the world of ground blinds. Before we move inside, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about some features that are on the outside of this ground blind that I do appreciate, and then maybe 1 or 2 that I think they should add. Moving around, I think this little strip right here, I think that's something that a lot of guys don't pay attention to whenever they're looking at ground blinds, that makes or breaks a ground line for myself. So what this thing is it's just little gaps. About every 6 inches, you got like a 6-inch little gap, and what that gives you the availability to do is shove limbs, grass, stuff like that, to try to keep this ground blind from standing out if you have it on the edge of a wood line, on the edge of a CRP field, or something like that. So this is the front of this blind. I prefer the way the sides are set up because I'm primarily a bow hunter, but for you gun hunters or turkey hunters, or like if I was carrying my kid and he had a crossbow, this is a perfect setup. So as you can see here, it's got 3 different shooting windows up front, all silent, no zippers. That's the best thing about this. The home run about this ground blind is there is not a zipper. I hate seeing it whenever ground blind companies decide to put zippers on them. It's just loud, it's cumbersome. I find myself in there trying to do something other than zzz, make that zip noise. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and spin this ground blind so we can kind of talk about the other side, which again, it's 270 degrees, so you can see out of 3 of the 4 sides, and I prefer the side view. So if I was going to set this ground blind up for bow hunting, the side is what I would have towards the front. So let me go ahead and rotate this thing out. So when it comes to weight, as you've seen that, a person can literally grab it with one hand, pick it up, move it around. It is lightweight. The carrying pack that comes with this, we'll go over it at the end. I'll show it to you guys. But it has the dual strap, which I do appreciate. I hate whenever they just do the one cross strap. Because if I'm toting something in, I want it on my back like a backpack. So what we're gonna hit on first is the same strip that we were just talking about along the top on the front side. Here you can see they have the strip down here and they have it here. And what's beneficial for that, guys, especially if you're in close quarters, if you are doing that bow hunting thing, or if you're turkey hunting, you can take those limbs and stuff, you can slide this guy open from the inside, you can take those limbs, you can stick it through here, and it's gonna break up that silhouette. And I think that is huge when it comes to ground blinds. So seeing that on 3 of the 4 sides, they gave you the dual option for being able to do that. That's huge. Home run TideWe, we do appreciate that. As you can see here, if you have the front of the blind set up, your left and your right have the complete side windows, which again are my favorite. I like that. I can gap it just as much as I need to, and it works out great. The material on this thing seems pretty tough. One thing that I always get asked about these see-through ground blinds is like, how bad does the wind penetrate? And then whenever it comes to rain, I can tell you now, unless it is just a straight downpour, you're gonna still stay dry. This stuff, the way that it's made, the holes are so small, it doesn't let a lot of water through. And kind of the same thing with the temperature. So myself and Eric, if you follow the channel, Eric goes everywhere. Him and I, he's my hunting buddy. We hunted out of one very similar to this that has the small holes in it. Here in Arkansas this year, it was like 8 degrees. We had a little buddy heater in there and we did just fine. So it actually does better against blocking that wind than what you would think, considering all the little bitty holes that are in it. So this is the other side of it. Like I said, the opposite of this looks just like it. I'm gonna spin it one more time here for you guys. Now we're gonna look at the back. So this is what the back of the ground blind looks like. I would like to see like maybe another window right here so that you don't have that blind spot, as I like to call it. However, you do have one window here. It is not the see-through material. Guys are always like, why don't we do that? Well, in all honesty, it's so that you're not looking through and seeing through the back side of it. So if you had your window open in the front, it gives you something dark to sit in there with, so you know you can wear your dark clothes or whatever. However, it does have the one window here where you can fold it down. We'll get inside and see how that works in a minute. And then it has the door over here on the side, which I think, did you see that? I think is the home run about this ground blind. So what TideWe did is they did this as a magnet system. So there's no zippers, there's no clips, there's not anything to make any noise. I get up to it, I want to get in it, you're trying to be silent. That's it. You get ready to close it back, you just flip those dudes back up, they re-snap together, you're out. No noise, no nothing. Absolutely fantastic on that. I am a very big fan of this ground blind, and for the money, guys, you can't beat it. Let's go ahead and get inside of this thing and talk about it there. All right, guys, we're set up in here now. We're gonna kind of go over the front of this and then we'll move over to the sides. I've got the camera set up in here with me. So this is the front, and this is what I was talking about, not using clips. So you have one little pull tab here. As you can see there, you can see that little hook. You unhook it from the top, and then it's just got sliders on the side. You can slide that down to where you want it. You can slide it all the way down if you wanted to, so you have a full shooting window there. I'm gonna slide that guy back up. You literally, it's just got a little loop here. Clip that guy in there, you're good to go. Same thing with the shooting windows on the side. It's got a little hook over here on the side that goes there. You can open it. One thing I enjoy about this is you can open it from the top and leave this thing clipped in. So if you're gun hunting, crossbow hunting, something like that, this is the option I would have, because as you can see out of it anyways. So you don't need to be able to see out. You just don't want them to be able to see in. You can open that little window there. You're good to go. Or if you did want to completely unhook that dude, and if you're noticing, it's the silence. So what I noticed last year was one of these. Let me go ahead and you can see this other side. I'm gonna go ahead and slide it back too. If you do have a kid hunting, or if you're in an area where you're not as worried about being seen, you've got long shots, you can actually take these two dudes here, kind of hook them back on themselves, and they'll keep those folded in out of the way. You can do the same thing with the top, bring it down, hook it here as well, and then you can completely open those up where they're not in your way. Again, this isn't my favorite setup as a bow hunter. Does it work? Absolutely, you could still shoot out of it, but to me, this is more of your turkey hunting, or if you had like a small chair that you were gonna sit down on the ground inside of the blind instead of sitting elevated in a chair. That's whenever these windows would be super beneficial. Or if you decided that you were gonna hunt on a ridge or something like that and you had more of that down elevation. One thing about this is, if you go back and you watch my hunt from Texas last year with me and my son, if we'd have had this kind of setup, it actually would have been more beneficial, because we had the ground blind actually set on a stand platform. So our shots were kind of down at an angle, and I had to get him up where he could shoot down at that angle. If we'd have had a blind like this, we could have been elevated, had these side windows open, and it would have gave us plenty of clearance to be able to take that kind of downward angle shot. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook these dudes back up. Give me just a second, guys. I'm gonna spin the camera so you can see the side. All right, guys, so what you're looking at now is the left-hand side of the blind. It literally just mirrors the right-hand side. This is my preferred shooting window as a bow hunter. And the reason being is I'm gonna be sitting in a chair that's got me elevated, and what I will end up doing is either taking the top or the bottom and just about opening that whole thing up. And then I can go like this, have that opened, everything else in the blind's closed, and I can shoot my bow out of these holes, and that is what works extremely beneficial for me. So like I said, as a bow hunter, if I was gonna set this thing up, to be honest, I would probably make this the front, the door's right here to the left. If I had a panic moment and I needed to open that up so I could draw back and shoot out of that, I could still do so. I do appreciate, you see here down on the bottom, they left the black here. Again, guys, that's to me, so it keeps it more dark inside, so you're better hidden. When you do use one of these ground blinds, you want to sit as far back as you can. Wear a darker color so you're blending in with that background inside of the ground blind if the animal looks through the window. So all in all, I think this thing's a home run, especially for the price. Stupid cheap, comparatively speaking, to the other blinds that are on the market. One thing that I'm not a huge fan of is the way these cross braces come in. I understand it's part of the design. That's just something that if you're going to buy this ground blind, remember guys, take it out, shoot out of it, get used to it. And the reason being is if you're an archery hunter, if you're a gun hunter, don't worry about it. It's not a problem at all. If you're an archery hunter, you've never hunted out of it, you're gonna go out for the first time, you don't want to be the guy that pulls back and they're looking through here and you think everything's clear and your arrow's not clear of this rail. It never happened to me because I was aware of it before we went out, but it's just food for thought to make sure that you're as prepared as you can be whenever you go to the woods. I'm gonna go ahead and spin this thing one more time, show you the back of it, and then we'll get ready to wrap this thing up. All right guys, so this is the doorway. That's what we were talking about from the outside that was a little hard to see. Now you'll be able to see a little bit better. But when you get ready to close that thing, you just take it, kind of pull it over, and these little magnets go ahead and just clip in place. You're not making a lot of noise. It does have one little clip right here, if I can move it over to the sun so you can see it, but it does have a little clip right here, and you would just snap it over on this side. What I did is I just actually kind of take it and tuck it right behind the frame there. That way I'm not actually clipping anything and making any more noise than I have to, but I'm still set up, it's still ready to go. This is the shooting window here that you've got for the back of it. Like I said, for those panic shots, the animal gets around behind you, you can drop that real quick and shoot out of it. If you don't think that's ever gonna happen to you, go back and watch my turkey hunt from Indiana last year. That's exactly what happened to us. Bird came in from behind me. I couldn't do anything, so I picked a little hole out the back of this. I actually missed, and then I killed him on the right-hand side. But it is what it is. It's part of hunting. So, guys, that's it for the inside of this blind. Let me jump out of this dude, and we'll wrap this up real quick. All right, guys, so like I said, before we wrap this up, I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in the bag, kind of show you guys how easy this thing is to take down and pack up. I like to start with the top, push it there. You just walk around it, you can see these knobs here. Just kind of put your thigh on it, hold the corners, push in. And doing it like that, guys, what it does is it keeps you from having to fight it the whole time. One more push, it's folded and good to go. And by the way, guys, it does come with some ropes and some stakes to tie it down. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Packed up and ready to go. So hey guys, let's talk about some pluses and minuses. So the number one thing that I think we have to talk about when it comes to pluses is the price point. I wouldn't be scared to say that this ground blind is half the price of all the competitors' ground blinds. They're basically the exact same thing. Some of them might have a little bit thicker fabric, but in all, this thing is great and it's at a super low price. Number two is exactly what I have on my back right now. The fact that they did put the dual straps for the shoulders, huge plus for me. And then we'll kind of talk about some of the negatives. So if you guys remember in the very beginning of this video, I think the one negative is that they didn't put the cross strap for being able to brush the blind in on the actual front of the blind at the mid area. Is that a huge deal? No, not really, because you can stick stuff down at the bottom and kind of make that, where it comes up and then hang stuff from the top. So is it a deal breaker? Absolutely not. It's just something I would like to see added. But all in all, this thing is great. It's silent, it's easy to use, it's lightweight, and you can't beat the price point. So hey guys, that's all I got for y'all today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go back to that homepage, click the little bell up top. We're doing reviews. It's summertime. If you're new to the channel, I'm sorry. If you're not new to the channel, you know every week we're putting out a review of a product. If there's something you'd like to see, get down in the comment box down below. Drop a name of the product. We'll see if we can get our hands on it. I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, good hunting. We'll see you from a tree.